What you choose to do today, even when you don't feel like it, becomes the starting point for your future success. You have to push yourself to take action. There's a saying that goes something like this: you don't need to be amazing to begin, but you need to begin to ever become amazing. We all have goals, dreams, and big things we want to accomplish, but sometimes it just feels too hard to move forward. Have you ever felt stuck, like you know what needs to be done, but something inside just won't let you do it? The truth is, you already have what it takes to break past those barriers and get things done. And in this video, I'm going to show you 10 powerful ways to make yourself take action and reach your goals. These are practical steps you can actually use to beat excuses, stay focused, and finally move forward. If you're ready to take control and turn your vision into reality, keep watching. This could be the beginning of real change. Let's start with this. Nobody's going to do it for you. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to chase your goals for you. And no one is going to lift you up every time you fall. It's on you. It always has been. That might sound tough, but really think about it. Isn't it empowering to know your life is in your own hands? Isn't it freeing to realize your future isn't based on chance or someone else's choices, but on your own decisions and effort? That's the beauty of it. It's yours to shape. You've got to stop waiting for the perfect time or the right person to make it easy. Waiting is a trap. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to start. If you keep sitting around hoping someone notices your potential or gives you a lucky break, you'll stay stuck. And the truth is, potential means nothing without action. What really matters is what you do with what you've got. You need to look in the mirror and say, "This is my responsibility." Ask yourself, what have you been putting off while hoping someone or something would make it easier? Is it starting your business? Taking care of your health? Learning something new that could change your life? The longer you delay, the heavier it feels, and that regret down the road, that'll hurt way more than the discomfort of starting today. You might say, but it's hard. Yes, it is. Anything worthwhile is hard. Success isn't supposed to be easy, but that's what makes it special. When you push yourself to get things done, even when you don't feel like it, you build inner strength that nobody can take from you. You prove to yourself that you're stronger than you thought, and that kind of belief is priceless. Now let's talk about excuses. They feel safe, don't they? It's easy to say you're too busy, don't have enough resources, or you're just not ready. But excuses don't pay your bills. They don't build your future. They don't create results. What gets things done is discipline, consistency, and action. And the good news? You're in control of all of those. You can learn them. So stop feeding your excuses and start fueling your goals. I won't pretend it's always going to be easy. Some days you'll feel tired, overwhelmed, or tempted to quit. But those are the days that matter most. Anyone can keep going when it's easy, but true strength shows up when it's tough. And that strength, it's already in you. If you're waiting for motivation to kick in, let me save you some time. It's not reliable. Motivation comes and goes. What you need is discipline. Discipline is what gets you out of bed when you'd rather sleep. It's what keeps you focused when distractions are all around. And it's what separates those who succeed from those who settle. Take charge of your life. Decide right now that you're done waiting. Decide that the excuses stop here. Decide that you're going to do whatever it takes to get things done, because nobody's going to care about your goals more than you do. And that's not a bad thing. It means you're in control. You decide how hard you work, how far you go, and how much you grow. If it feels overwhelming, start small. You don't need to do everything in one day, but you do need to begin. Take the first step, even if it's uncomfortable. Push through the resistance. Build the habit of showing up for yourself every day. Over time, the results will come. You'll see progress. Most importantly, you'll see yourself becoming the kind of person who makes it happen. Remember, your life is your responsibility, no one else's. It's your job to take action and make it count. So stop waiting, stop depending on others, and start showing up for your future. Force yourself to follow through, because your future depends on it. And trust me, Every bit of effort will be worth it. Now here's step 2. Build a routine and stick to it. It's not about trying only when you feel motivated. It's about being consistent, no matter what. A routine isn't just a plan. It's the support system that keeps you steady, even when life gets messy. The best part? A routine removes the need to overthink. When you know what to do and when to do it, you stop wasting time wondering if you should act. You just do it. Think about the people you admire who are successful. Do you think they just wing it every day? No, they follow routines. Why? Because routines build habits, and habits lead to results. When you decide to stick to a routine, you're setting up a strong base for steady progress. Start by figuring out what truly matters to you. What daily actions actually move your life forward? Is it working out? Sharpening your skills? Studying? Connecting with others? Or learning something new? Whatever it is, write it down and make it crystal clear. Don't leave room for guessing. A good routine starts with knowing your priorities. But here's something important. Make your routine realistic. It's easy to make a perfect-looking plan on paper that's way too hard to follow in real life. Don't fall into that trap. The goal isn't to impress anyone. It's to build something that actually works for you. Start small if needed. Focus on showing up consistently, not trying to do everything all at once. A simple plan you stick to is way better than a perfect plan you can't maintain. Once your routine is in place, the next part is non-negotiable. Follow through. This is where most people fall off. They begin with energy, but once the excitement fades, they stop. Don't be that person. Treat your routine like a personal agreement, a promise you won't break. Your routine is a sign that you're serious about your goals. If you give up on it, you're giving up on that promise. There will be tough days. You'll feel tired, distracted, or just not in the mood. But those tough days matter most. That's when your commitment is really tested. Anyone can follow a routine when things are easy. The real strength is sticking to it when it's hard. To help yourself out, cut down on distractions. Create a space that supports your routine, not one that pulls you away from it. If you need to concentrate, remove the things that break your focus. If you're working on your health, fill your kitchen with food that fuels you instead of holding you back. Your surroundings can either support your progress or slow it down, so make them work for you. Another key step, track your progress. One of the best ways to stay motivated is by seeing how far you've come. Use a notebook, an app, or any system that helps you see your consistency. Looking back at your effort builds momentum. It reminds you that you're capable of staying committed. But here's a big reminder. Don't beat yourself up if you miss a day. Life happens. What matters most isn't being perfect. It's staying persistent. If you fall off, don't let one off day turn into a full stop. Get back on track as soon as you can. One missed day doesn't define you. What matters is how you bounce back. Your routine is the link between where you are now and where you want to go. It's proof, day by day, that you're serious about building the life you want. So make that promise to yourself. Create the routine and stick with it no matter what, because in the end, your results will reflect the routines you follow. Now, let's talk about the next truth. Waiting only steals your time. Waiting might feel like the easy path, but it's the quickest way to waste your most valuable resource, time. And the time you lose, you don't get back. Every minute you spend waiting for the perfect moment, the right mood, or a confidence boost is a minute that's gone forever. Here's the truth. Nothing improves while you wait. Waiting won't fix problems. It won't help you grow. It won't create results. Only action can do that. Sitting around and waiting tells your brain a lie, that maybe tomorrow will be better or easier, but tomorrow isn't guaranteed. And while you're waiting, your goals are getting pushed further away. Worse, you start to build the habit of putting things off, and once that sets in, it's tough to break. Think about it. How much time have you already lost waiting? How many goals have been delayed because you convinced yourself you weren't ready? That realization can sting, but it's important. It's a wake-up call. You can't go back, but you can choose differently right now. Will you keep putting things off, or will you start taking action? Waiting can feel safe. It might feel like you're avoiding failure, rejection, or judgment, but really you're just holding yourself back. And the longer you do, the harder it becomes to start. The fear grows. The excuses pile up. Before you know it, you've spent years in the same spot, doing the same things, stuck in the same cycle. Let's be real. Waiting isn't safe. It's standing still. So ask yourself, what do you want most? More financial freedom? Better health? Stronger relationships? Mastery in your work or passion? Whatever it is, you won't reach it by standing still. The distance between where you are and where you want to be can only be closed with action. Every day you hesitate is a day you could have been moving forward, improving, growing. So why do people wait? Simple. Fear. Fear of messing up, looking bad, or not being good enough. But here's the thing. Fear doesn't go away by waiting. It only fades when you face it. Taking action is the cure for fear. The moment you start moving, the fear starts shrinking. Stop thinking you need everything figured out before you take the first step. You don't. Most successful people started before they felt ready. They figured it out as they went. The process taught them. The mistakes taught them. Waiting for the perfect moment is just another excuse to avoid doing the work. And the truth is, the real growth happens in the work. Time is your most limited resource. You can earn more money, learn new things, even rebuild relationships, but once time is gone, it's gone for good. So don't waste it by waiting. Don't let another day pass without taking a step toward what matters to you. Here's something you need to remember from this moment on. Starting doesn't mean being perfect. It doesn't mean having everything figured out. It simply means taking that first step, even if it's a small one. One step leads to the next, and before long, you start building momentum. But none of that can happen if you stay stuck in the cycle of waiting. You might tell yourself, I'll begin when I have more time, or I'll start once I feel more confident. But those thoughts are just comfortable lies we use to stay in our safe zone. The truth is, there's no such thing as the perfect time. The conditions won't ever be just right. You have to move forward despite that. You have to create your own momentum. Waiting holds you back from becoming who you could be. It keeps you stuck in the habit of telling yourself maybe someday. But here's the reality. Someday isn't on any calendar. All you really have is now. This day, this moment, this opportunity. Don't waste it. If there's something you've been putting off, take the first step today. If there's a dream you've been waiting to chase, begin the journey now. Even one small action is better than doing nothing. When you accept that waiting gets you nowhere, you free yourself from the false idea that you'll magically feel ready later on. Readiness isn't a feeling, it's a decision. Choose to take action today, even if it feels awkward, uncertain, or imperfect. Your future self is counting on the choices you make right now. They're depending on you to move forward, to make the effort that shapes a better life down the road. Don't let them down. Don't look back years from now and wonder what could have happened if you had just taken that first step sooner. Let's move on to something powerful, using your pain as motivation. Pain is something we all face in different ways. It might come from loss, failure, being let down, or feeling like you didn't measure up. But here's the important part. Pain can either tear you down or push you forward. It's all about how you deal with it. If you handle it right, pain can become the fuel that drives you to grow beyond what you thought was possible. Take a moment to think about the painful moments in your life. Maybe you felt the sting of falling short of your goals. Maybe you've regretted time wasted or trusted someone who let you down. Whatever it is, face it. Don't hide from it. Don't try to numb it or pretend it doesn't hurt. Pain is real, and the first step toward turning it into power is to confront it directly. A lot of people try to avoid pain by distracting themselves or pushing it aside, but that only keeps it hidden in the background, quietly affecting your choices. Ignoring pain doesn't erase it. It just gives it silent control. Instead of running from it, use it. Let it remind you of what you never want to feel again. Let it light a fire inside you to do better, to grow stronger, to rise above. Pain sharpens your focus. When you're hurting, you begin to see what truly matters. You notice what needs to change. You become aware of habits, people, and patterns that are holding you back. Use that awareness to create something better. Set goals that matter to you and chase them with everything you've got. Pain can make you powerful if you let it. Each time you face it, you build inner strength. Every time you pick yourself up after being knocked down, you prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you ever imagined. And every time you rise, you grow. Real growth doesn't happen when things are easy. It happens when you keep pushing through discomfort, effort, and setbacks. Look at the most successful people in any field. They didn't get there without pain. They stumbled. They failed. They got rejected. But instead of letting that pain stop them, they used it. They let it fuel their determination to keep going and become even better. And you can do the same. Pain, when used the right way, can give you a strong sense of purpose. If you've gone through tough times, you know what it feels like to be at your lowest. You know what it's like to want to give up. Use that understanding to push forward. Let it help you connect with others who are struggling. Pain can help you relate to people in a way that nothing else can. Don't let your pain be the final chapter. Let it be the reason a new chapter begins. Let it be the force behind your effort, the reason you refuse to give in, and the fuel that keeps you moving when others quit. Pain isn't a sign that you're weak. It's proof that you're alive, that you're human, and that you have the strength to rise again. When you decide to use your pain as motivation, you stop being a victim of your circumstances. You become the author of your future. Your pain doesn't define you, but how you respond to it does. You might not have chosen the challenges you faced, but you do get to choose what you do next. Let your pain remind you of your strength. Let it remind you that there's a fire inside of you that refuses to quit. Let it be the reason you get up in the morning and keep fighting for the life you want. The pain you feel right now won't last forever, but the strength and growth it can lead to, that can last a lifetime. Think about what you've already made it through. Wouldn't it feel amazing to look back one day and know that you turned your hardest moments into something meaningful? That you didn't let the pain break you, but used it to build the best version of yourself? Now let's talk about something just as important: cutting out excuses completely. Excuses might seem small, but they are powerful enough to stop your progress cold. They sound innocent, like little reasons for why you didn't follow through. But in reality, they're the silent enemies of progress and dreams. If you're serious about changing your life, you have to face this truth. Excuses are holding you back. Every time you make an excuse, you're choosing to settle. You're choosing your comfort zone over your growth. You're avoiding responsibility and giving up control. When you say, "I don't have time," what you really mean is, "This isn't important enough to me right now." When you say, "I'm not ready," what you're really saying is, "I'm afraid to try." And here's the thing: you can overcome fear. You can make time for what matters, but only if you stop letting excuses run the show. Excuses might feel like protection, but they're really just barriers keeping you from your potential. They give you a way to avoid effort and responsibility while pretending it's not your fault. But deep down, you know better. You know that real progress requires real honesty. And that starts with admitting when you've been standing in your own way. Excuses can feel like protection, but really they're just a cage. Think about the times you've made excuses before. Be real with yourself. Were those excuses truly valid, or were they just a way to avoid something hard or uncomfortable? In most cases, excuses are rooted in fear. Fear of failing, fear of being judged, fear that you're not good enough. But here's the truth: fear only has power if you give it permission. The moment you take action despite being afraid, that fear starts to lose its grip. Getting rid of excuses starts with taking responsibility. Own your actions. Own your choices. Own your results. Stop blaming the situation, other people, or bad luck. Be honest and say, "This is on me." It might sting at first, but that's where your power comes from. Once you take responsibility, you're no longer at the mercy of everything around you. You're in control. Excuses can sound logical. They often disguise themselves as good reasons. You might think, today's already halfway over, so I'll just start tomorrow. Or, I can't begin because I don't have the right tools. Or even, I'll focus when life calms down. These thoughts seem reasonable, but they're really just delays. The truth is, the perfect time doesn't exist. Waiting only wastes more time. The best time to begin was yesterday. The next best time is right now. Instead of making excuses, start finding solutions. If you say, I don't have the time, take a real look at your day. Can you wake up earlier? Cut out distractions, be more efficient with what you're already doing? And if you say, I don't know how, commit to learning. The information is out there. If you're willing to make the effort, you'll figure it out. Eliminating excuses isn't easy. It takes discipline, but it's worth it. Discipline is what gets you out of bed when you'd rather sleep in. It's what helps you stay focused when your mind wants to wander. It's what pushes you forward when quitting feels easier. The more discipline you build, the less space there is for excuses to live. One of the best ways to destroy excuses is to remind yourself of why you started. Why does this matter to you? Why is it important? When your why is clear and meaningful, excuses start to sound weak. If your goal is to change your life, support your family, or reach something deeply meaningful, no excuse should be strong enough to stop you. Cutting out excuses also means being honest about what really matters to you. If something is truly important, you'll find a way. If it's not, you'll find an excuse. Ask yourself, how badly do I want this? If the answer is a lot, then no excuse should stand in your way. Excuses might feel safe, but growth doesn't happen in comfort. Progress takes effort, discipline, and sometimes discomfort. But the rewards, real growth, success, and pride are worth every challenge. When you stop making excuses, you open up possibilities. You start to see what you're capable of. You realize the only thing limiting you is you. With enough effort, focus, and belief, you can push through almost anything. Picture this: looking back at your life one day and knowing you really gave it your all, that you didn't let excuses hold you down, that you didn't settle for good enough when you were capable of more. That feeling, that deep sense of pride, is worth every struggle along the way. So stop making excuses. Replace them with action. Own your journey. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the excuse you're making right now. Now let's move to the next key idea: overcoming resistance by building a strong mindset. Resistance is that invisible force that pushes back when you're trying to make progress. It's that feeling that says, quit now. This is too hard. Everyone feels it. No one is immune to it. But what separates people who succeed from those who stay stuck is how they deal with resistance. To beat resistance, you need a solid mindset. A mindset that doesn't fall apart under pressure, but rises to the challenge. Resistance can show up in many forms. Sometimes it sounds like doubt telling you you're not capable. Sometimes it looks like procrastination whispering, you can always do it later. Other times, it's just plain exhaustion making you want to stop. No matter how it shows up, resistance is there to test how badly you want it. And the only way to win is to push through. It all starts with a clear reason. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? Your answer needs to be strong enough to carry you through the hard days. If your why is weak, resistance will win. But if your reason is solid, it will fuel you when everything else tells you to give up. Preparation is another powerful tool. Resistance feels even stronger when you're not ready. If you're working on something big, break it into smaller tasks. That way it feels doable instead of overwhelming. Have a clear plan so you know exactly what to do when the resistance hits. When you're prepared, resistance loses a lot of its power. Your thoughts play a massive role. If you keep telling yourself, I can't do this, you've already lost. But if you say, I can handle this, You create a mindset that looks for solutions instead of problems. Positive self-talk isn't just cheesy motivation, it's brain training. When resistance shows up, remind yourself of the challenges you've already faced. You've been through tough things before. You've made it this far. You can keep going. Focus is your greatest strength in the face of resistance. The more you focus on what needs to be done, the less room there is for distractions or doubts. Create an environment that supports your goals. That might mean turning off your phone, setting boundaries with others, or setting up a space where you can think clearly. The sharper your focus, the easier it becomes to break through the resistance. And most of all, be patient. Building mental strength doesn't happen overnight. It's like a muscle. You have to train it. The more you push through, the more resilient you become. Resistance doesn't go away completely, but your ability to handle it gets stronger every time you don't give in. Be patient with yourself, but don't let that patience turn into standing still. Keep taking steps forward, even if they're small. Progress might feel slow sometimes, but every step you take weakens the resistance holding you back. Learn to lean into discomfort. Resistance grows stronger when you try to avoid pain, difficulty, or uncertainty. But real growth happens when you face those things head on. The more often you challenge yourself in uncomfortable moments, the more resilient you become. You start to understand that discomfort doesn't last forever, but the rewards of pushing through it do. Resistance often hits hardest right before a breakthrough. It's like the final obstacle to test how committed you really are. This is the point where many people give up. But this is exactly when you need to dig deep and keep going. Remind yourself that every bit of effort brings you closer to your goal. Don't stop now. Surround yourself with people who help you stay strong. A powerful mindset isn't built alone. Find people who push you to be better, who encourage you, and who believe in your potential. When resistance feels overwhelming, having people in your corner can make a huge difference. Another way to strengthen your mind is to practice gratitude. Resistance often makes you focus on everything that's difficult or everything you're missing. But when you choose to focus on what you do have and how far you've come, it's easier to stay motivated. Gratitude helps you zoom out and remember why you're on this path in the first place. Getting past resistance is a choice. It's not always fun or easy, but it's necessary if you want to reach your goals. A strong mindset doesn't mean you never face resistance. It means you don't let it stop you. It means choosing to act, even when you don't feel like it. It means refusing to quit, no matter how difficult things get. Keep in mind, resistance is temporary. It may feel massive while you're in it, but it's not permanent. It's just a bump in the road, not a wall. The more you push through it, the stronger you get, and the easier it becomes to face the next challenge. Every time you beat resistance, you prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. Now let's talk about something just as important, cutting out distractions from your surroundings. If you want to accomplish anything meaningful, you need focus. But focus becomes nearly impossible when you're surrounded by distractions. They drain your time, your energy, and your attention. They pull you away from your goals, and before you know it, hours or even days go by with nothing meaningful accomplished. To overcome resistance and stay productive, you need an environment that helps you stay focused. The first step is realizing that distractions are everywhere. They can come from noise, people, technology, or even your own thoughts. The world is full of things fighting for your attention, and it's easy to get pulled into them. But if you're serious about your goals, you need to recognize distractions for what they really are: barriers standing between you and the life you want. Start by examining your physical space. Look around. What's distracting you? A messy desk? A disorganized room? An uncomfortable chair? These things might seem minor, but they can pull your mind away from what matters. You can't expect to stay focused in chaos. Clean up your space and set it up in a way that helps you concentrate. An organized, comfortable environment creates the right mindset for taking action. Next, deal with digital distractions. Your phone, computer, and other devices are full of things that can steal your focus in seconds. Social media, messages, emails, just the temptation to check notifications can throw off your whole day. Set limits. Turn off notifications. Close tabs you don't need. Choose specific times to check your phone or email instead of letting them interrupt your flow. When it's time to work, be fully present. Create space in your schedule and your mind for deep focus. People can also be a source of distraction. If you're often around people who interrupt you or don't support your goals, it may be time to set boundaries. Let them know your focus is important and that you need time without interruptions. If possible, find a quiet space to work where you won't be pulled into side conversations or activities. It's okay to protect your time. Your goals deserve that respect. Sometimes the distractions come from within. Your own thoughts can be the biggest source of noise. Worries about the future, doubts about your abilities, stress about what's not working. These mental distractions can drain your energy and your attention. That's why mental clarity is so important. Practice ways to calm your mind, whether it's through mindfulness, meditation, or simply taking a few deep breaths. When your mind is calm, it's easier to focus on the task in front of you. Creating a distraction-free environment doesn't happen overnight. It takes effort and intention. You need to commit to your goals and take control of your surroundings. But the reward is worth it. Once you start removing the noise around you, you'll notice that your focus gets sharper, your productivity improves, and your progress speeds up. One powerful way to reduce distractions is by planning your time wisely. Time blocking, setting aside specific chunks of your day for specific tasks, helps you stay on track. When you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing, it's easier to stay focused and avoid distractions. A well-structured schedule leaves less space for interruptions to sneak in. You can also use tools that support your focus, apps that block distracting websites, timers to keep you on task, or project trackers to help you stay organized. These tools act as support systems, reminding you of what needs to get done and keeping you accountable to your goals. Lastly, make sure your goals are crystal clear. When you know what you're working toward, distractions lose their power. They stop feeling tempting because you understand they're only slowing you down. A clear purpose gives you the motivation to stay focused and ignore the noise. And don't forget, rest is part of the process. Working yourself to exhaustion doesn't help you move faster. It actually slows you down. When your energy is drained, your focus fades and it becomes harder to get things done. Taking breaks and getting proper sleep isn't laziness, it's strategy. A rested mind is sharper, clearer, and far more productive. Building a distraction-free environment isn't just a nice idea. It's essential if you want to succeed. You have to protect your focus like it's your greatest asset, because it is. Distractions are sneaky. They'll try anything to pull you away from your path. But when you take control of your surroundings, you also take control of your results. Let's move on to something that hits deeper. Using the pain of doing nothing as motivation. Avoiding action might feel safe in the moment, but over time, it chips away at your confidence, your potential, and your future. It brings regret, frustration, and that heavy feeling that you're not living up to what you're truly capable of. And believe me, there's no pain quite like knowing you could have done more, but chose not to. The thing about inaction is that it's subtle. It doesn't slam into you all at once. It creeps in slowly. It doesn't leave a visible bruise, but it leaves an emotional scar. The more you delay, the harder it becomes to begin. You get stuck in the illusion of comfort, telling yourself it's fine to wait, to stay put, to rest a little longer. But that comfort is false. It's not the peace of progress. It's the silence of avoidance. And it comes with a cost. Every opportunity you don't take is one you may never get back. Think about the chances you've missed simply because you hesitated. Chances to grow, to improve, to move forward. Each time you choose inaction, you give up a moment that could have taken you closer to your goals. And one day, when that reality hits, it hits hard. The pain of inaction isn't loud, but it lingers. It's the quiet voice that whispers, "You could have done more." That's why you need to flip the script. Use that pain as a wake-up call. Let it push you, not paralyze you. The sting of regret, that's your signal. It's telling you what matters. This isn't just about finishing a task. It's about avoiding the pain of wondering what if later on. The longer you sit still, the more that regret builds. And trust me, it'll weigh more than any challenge you'd face by taking action today. Doing nothing leads to settling. You start accepting your situation as good enough and stop dreaming of better. That's dangerous. That's how dreams die, slowly, without a fight. You convince yourself it's okay to stay where you are. But deep down, you know better. You know you're meant for more. So instead of focusing on how hard it will be to act, focus on what it will cost you not to act. Think long term. Where will your life be in a year if you keep delaying? What about in 5 years? Will you be closer to where you want to be, or stuck in the same cycle, frustrated and filled with regret? That quiet pain of not doing anything? Let that be your fuel. Let it remind you that even the smallest action is better than staying still. The discomfort of showing up, of starting, of trying, it's temporary. But the pain of never starting at all? That lasts. The road to anything meaningful is paved with action. You can't get to the destination if you're too afraid to take the first step. So when you feel that ache of inaction, that weight in your chest from knowing you're standing still, use it. Let it light a fire in you. Remind yourself this is bigger than right now. You're not just doing this for today. You're building your future. A future that's worth pushing through discomfort for. Don't let the pain of doing nothing win. Turn it into fuel. Don't let it freeze you. Let it drive you. And when you finally look back, you'll be grateful for the steps you took. You'll be proud of the moments you showed up, even when it was hard. You won't remember the fear. You'll remember the fight. And now here's another key to staying consistent. Remind yourself of what you're working toward. When you're in the middle of the grind, it's easy to forget why you started. The work feels endless, the effort feels heavy, and you start to wonder if it's even worth it. But that's when you need to bring your vision back into focus. Picture your goal, your end result. What does success look like for you? What does the life you want feel like? What kind of person do you become once you achieve it? Visualize it in detail. The milestones, the freedom, the pride. That picture in your mind should become your fuel. When things feel overwhelming, when you're tired and losing motivation, remind yourself of what all this effort is for. Remind yourself that every drop of sweat, every hour spent, every obstacle you overcome is moving you closer to that vision. It's not just about finishing the task, it's about becoming the person you were meant to be. Losing sight of your destination is when doubt starts to creep in. That's when you start asking, is this really worth it? But if the goal still matters to you, and it does, then yes, every bit of it is worth it. Keep that future version of yourself in mind. The one who didn't quit. The one who pushed through. The one who made it. Let that vision carry you forward. Every single step you take, no matter how small, is progress. It brings you closer to where you want to be. When things start to feel difficult, remind yourself of that truth. Don't get stuck focusing only on the struggle. Focus on the outcome. Focus on who you're becoming by staying committed. Think about the opportunities that will open up and the sense of pride you'll feel once you've followed through on what you set out to achieve. It's not just about reaching the goal, it's about growing through the process. You're developing inner strength. You're learning valuable skills. You're building confidence. Every sacrifice, every setback, every tough day is helping you become stronger, more capable, and more determined. When you remember that, the pain starts to feel worth it, because you know it's shaping you into someone who doesn't quit, someone who finishes what they start. The key is to keep your end goal vivid in your mind. Make it so clear that it fuels you when motivation fades. Don't only think about the rewards, think about how it'll feel to know you gave it your all. The feeling of finishing something you committed to is one of the most satisfying feelings there is. Let that feeling be what keeps you moving on the days when things feel heavy. When you know where you're going and you truly understand what's waiting for you on the other side, every challenge becomes part of the path, not a reason to stop. Obstacles won't discourage you as easily, because you'll know they're just temporary parts of the journey. That destination you're working toward, it's still there. And with every effort, you're getting closer. Here's another truth. The journey doesn't end once you hit your goal. Reaching that milestone gives you the strength, resilience, and experience to go even further. What you're building now is the foundation for everything that comes next. So when the road gets tough, hold on to your vision of success. Keep it close. Let it pull you forward when you feel like quitting. Success doesn't come from a single burst of effort. It's built through consistent action, constant focus, and the discipline to keep going, even when you don't feel like it. But when you stay connected to what you're working for, when you really feel that vision, the weight of the work starts to feel lighter. You gain clarity, and that clarity helps you keep moving, no matter how tough the climb. So take the time to imagine it. Really picture what you're working toward. The freedom, the fulfillment, the moment of knowing you did it. Every challenge, every effort, every long day, it all adds up to something meaningful. Keep that bigger picture in your mind. Don't let setbacks or distractions take your focus away. What you're working toward is worth every bit of effort. Now let's talk about something just as important: rewarding yourself for your progress. One of the biggest mistakes people make when chasing a goal is waiting until the finish line to feel proud. But if you want to stay motivated and keep momentum, you need to recognize the wins along the way. Every step forward counts, even the small ones. Especially the small ones. They're what the big wins are made of. It's easy to stay focused on the end goal and forget how much work is going into getting there. But success is built from a series of small, consistent efforts. Every time you check something off your list, learn something new, or reach a small milestone, it's a win. And those wins deserve to be acknowledged. Celebrating progress doesn't mean you're being lazy or getting comfortable. It means you're staying motivated. When you take the time to appreciate what you've done, you reinforce the habits that lead to success. You're reminding yourself that the hard work is paying off. These little celebrations help you keep going, especially when things feel slow or tough. So when you hit a mini goal, pause, appreciate it, give yourself credit. Maybe it's a small treat, a break, or just a quiet moment of pride. Whatever it is, allow yourself to enjoy it. These rewards create emotional momentum. They remind you that you're getting closer, step by step. The key is to be consistent. You don't need to reward every single task, but acknowledge every meaningful step forward. The more often you do this, the more inspired you'll feel to keep pushing. Celebrating also gives you a chance to reflect on how far you've come. It boosts your confidence and reminds you that you can keep going. It also helps keep your mindset in a good place. If you're always focused on how far you still have to go, without recognizing what you've already done, you'll start feeling discouraged. But when you take a moment to recognize your growth, you reset your mind. You give yourself the energy and clarity to continue strong. This isn't about spoiling yourself. It's about maintaining balance. It's about reinforcing the behavior that gets results. When your brain links effort with something positive, you're more likely to repeat that behavior. The mind loves rewards. It's how habits are formed. So the more you pair hard work with something rewarding, the easier it becomes to stay consistent. Think of it like this. Every time you finish a hard task and follow it with a reward, you're teaching yourself that effort brings results. That connection makes it easier to tackle the next task and the one after that. Over time, this creates momentum. It builds discipline, and it turns effort into a natural rhythm. But remember, not every reward has to be physical or external. One of the most powerful rewards is internal. That deep sense of pride, that quiet satisfaction of knowing you gave your best, that you stayed focused, stayed consistent, and kept growing. That feeling fuels something even greater, long-term resilience. So don't wait until the end to feel proud. Celebrate the journey. Every step matters. Every bit of progress is proof that you're on the right path. When you take the time to acknowledge how far you've come, you'll feel more energized to keep going. And that, my friend, is exactly how you build momentum, confidence, and success, one meaningful step at a time.